Hello, and welcome back to Fearless Narratives. I am your host, Courtlyn Jones, and today we're back with another Fearless Friday, my episode where I get to share with you a story about my own feel the fear moment, as well as why I did it and how it turned out. So today's story is going to be about the time that I moved from my crappy studio apartment in New York City to a luxury apartment that I could not afford. Let's get into it. In 2021, I made one of the craziest moves of my life. I moved from a studio apartment that I had been in for about 4 years. I broke my lease and I moved into a luxury apartment for 3 grand a month, for a year and 3 months lease. And my bank account could only cover the first and last month's rent. But I moved anyway. Now, when I told my mom about my rash decision to move, she was very skeptical, which is valid. And to her, it was just me being crazy and just talking about my dream for the future. Not that I was talking about moving anytime soon. But here's a twist. About a week later, I had not only signed the lease, but I also had the keys to my new apartment in my hand. Now, my mom was astonished, and you might be wondering how I managed to find the money to do so. Well, I didn't. I took a leap of faith and I had a clear vision of the life that I wanted, where I wanted to be, and I knew my current apartment was not helping me to be that person. It wasn't serving me anymore. So it all began when I abruptly left my job at my dream company and I had no means to pay the rent for my current apartment, the crappy one. And I missed payments for the next 2 months with like 4 months left of my lease. The apartment had its share of problems, though. It had a leaky ceiling in the kitchen. There was like rain coming down from upstairs neighbors, and it had a roach infestation. Okay, it was disgusting, right? So quarantine had left me trapped in this apartment, and it felt like a prison. So, in a moment of desperation, I decided to redecorate my apartment, tossing out all of my old furniture and buying new pieces. And I made a mess. I threw everything on the floor. I broke things down and I trashed my old apartment to reinvent it. And it worked for a while, but I still felt confined and I needed space. I needed to move. I needed a change. Now, my apartment had become a place filled with panic, anxiety, and bad memories. And when I received a letter for my lease renewal at the end of the year, I knew I had to move on. I had just launched my company, the design database, and I was now a CEO, a business owner. I needed a place where I felt like that. I needed to feel like I was in control of my new life. And my new home, my old home was making me feel like I was still at a lower level. So I knew if I wanted to manifest this chapter of my life and make it better, I needed a new apartment, a new home. And I reasoned that a CEO would live in a luxury apartment, right? And that's what I needed. But here's the catch. I was unemployed, technically. I had no money to pay my rent currently at my old apartment. And I had just spent my savings redecorating my apartment. So how could I afford a luxury apartment? I learned that when you're trying to manifest something, you have to envision yourself already there or already having it, right? So I went online and I found a stunning one-bedroom apartment in a brand new building. And I booked a tour with a real estate agent to check it out. And when I got there, the place felt like home immediately. It was safe, it was beautiful, it was modern with amazing appliances, and it was just a dream. And despite my financial situation, I filled out an application and I just decided it was mine. And I prayed for a miracle. Now, to my surprise, I had the exact amount of money for the first and last month's rent. That was all I had. I received a check from my freelance jobs in the past. So I gave my application to the real estate agent and I hoped for the best, even though I knew that I was probably going to be denied. So the next day, an email arrived to me at 1:11 p.m. And as you know, I love angel numbers. So to me, again, it was a sign. And I was approved for the apartment. So I laughed and then I cried because I had to move in 30 days. So I packed up my stuff and moved into my new home. But just so you know, I had no money to pay for a mover. So I had to move my stuff from my old apartment to my new apartment in a shopping cart, walking down the blocks every day for 30 days by myself until my friend helped me at the end. But it was a month-long move in a shopping cart. But I took a leap of faith, trusting that something would protect me, that God would see me through. And he did. So it has been almost 2 years. It's been over 2 years now. And I am still living in my apartment. I am still here in my luxury apartment. And I want to tell you that miracles can happen when you choose to follow your heart, face your fears, and believe in the power of faith. So thank you for joining me today on this new episode of Fearless Fridays. And know that your dreams are worth chasing, even if it means taking that daring leap of faith and having no idea how you're going to do it. So stay fearless, stay inspired, and stay tuned for a new episode on Monday with another entrepreneur who is sharing her story about changing the world, one fearless narrative at a time. And that is a wrap. Fearless Narratives airs every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Thank you for joining us today. You have been an amazing audience, and we really love your support. So we also would love for you to give us a nice 5-star review. And until next time, stay fearless.